Colin McNamara. I am the Chief Operating Officer at the Australian Transport Safety Bureau. So today I'm just going to zip through my introductory slides because I really want to maximise the time for the technical briefs that will be provided you by the later speakers. Next slide, please, Josh. So just a quick background. So we are the National Transport Safety Investigation Body. We cover all aviation, rail and marine accidents. Probably best to think of us that's a very American-based type organisation with the NTSB, but we are the equivalent here in Australia, and that's what we do. But we also cover accidents in rail and marine as well, but predominantly the large vessels in marine. We're a small agency. We're only about 100 personnel, predominantly ex-industry personnel, and operational in the sense that we do deploy to accident sites 24/7 in Australia and overseas, and the overseas ones when they're involving Australian registered aircraft and ships. We do employ around a dozen engineers, aero, mechanical, electrical, materials failure. We have some fantastic engineering facilities here in Canberra. And so if you are passionate about improving transport safety, do look out for our ads and our vacancies that do pop up every now and then, and noting that we do have offices right around Australia. So in terms of the collaboration, obviously transport safety investigation is a skill set in its own, and it's a trade or a qualification. And it's more than just, you're having 20 years of experience, because obviously we employ ex-industry personnel. So, pilots, ships engineers, ships, master mariners. But it's more than just having, say, 20 years of, certainly when we recruit and what we train through, they do have very high levels of analytical and some of those softer skills, because as you can imagine, our staff do get exposed to quite a lot of atrocities when they move out to accident sites that involve fatalities. And they do need to have those softer skills in the empathy that's required to manage next of kin and so forth out at accident sites. So just because you've got 20 years experience flying aircraft doesn't necessarily equate that you're going to transition to be a competent investigator. And certainly that's why we have this partnership with RMIT in terms of building those skill sets that are required to do the job effectively. So traditionally we were a registered training organisation, and we delivered a diploma in transport safety investigation. But the limitations there were that we could only provide it to our own staff. And we did have a lot of people that were obtaining this qualification. So we thought the best thing to do is to land it with RMIT. The idea there is that we can benefit from the broader university's capabilities, but also we can open up this qualification to industry. And certainly that's what's been occurring to this point, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a sec. And as you can read there, the ultimate goal is that we do want a leader in providing these qualifications, so qualification-specific region. Some of you would probably be familiar with a university in the UK called Cranfield. Cranfield do a very similar program to ours and world leaders in the Northern Hemisphere. We're hoping that through this partnership, as it matures, we'll certainly have that reputation for the Southern Hemisphere. In terms of a focus on collaboration as it comes up, so the benefits that we're seeing is that by doing it through university, we're getting the best of both worlds, because all of our courses now are delivered through the combination of the professors and the faculty at the university. So obviously cutting edge theory and some of the research that comes into some of our learnings and some of our lectures. But that's combined with us having our senior investigators deliver a lot of content as well. So not only are the students getting the very best theory, but they're seeing how that is applied in practice through actual investigators that have been out in the field and bringing those experiences to the classroom. And obviously it is difficult because it's very hard to sort of create a crash site in a classroom per se. Hence why our students get a lot of exposure through real world attending accident sites. But that's where the excitement is that's coming through this presentation, because we are able to augment and give students that immersion into an accident site through the advancements in technology, and we'll certainly be able to demonstrate that later. Just to pick up on one thing there, that it's still very much in its early days, this partnership. It's got a long way to go. And some of the other things beyond training that we are looking to do with the university is a lot of joint sort of research opportunities and potentially tapping in through RMIT back into industry. And we're starting to do a plan to do a lot of safety studies as well. So that's certainly another, I guess, to this partnership moving forward. So far we've pretty much got down the graduate certificate in transport safety investigation. So 4 key units of study, from investigation readiness, on-site fundamentals, human factors, and analytical and report writing skills. So that sort of sets the foundation. I think we're into our 3rd graduate certificate, and through the first 2, it was really exciting to see that we were able to train up 25 of our staff, but around about the same 25 industry personnel. And we're getting good feedback with that. And there seems to be a thirst in that people would like to take this journey right through to a master's program. So the graduate diploma is the next group of units that we're rolling out towards the end of this year and early 2022. That's going to see units of study like investigating safety management systems, specialist engineering techniques used in transport safety. So that's the materials failure. That's more about data chip recovery, looking at how we can get information off all the various technologies that are out there in aircraft, right down to iPads and personal devices and so forth. And then eventually, probably late 22, if not early 23, we'll be launching into the master's program. So we have got the building blocks there, and through the university, I'm pretty happy that certainly the graduate diploma is taking good shape, and there's about 50 people that will be able to transition through that diploma. So in terms of embracing AR, obviously you'll get to see the demonstration of what we used in the course to sort of cover us during that COVID period where we're doing online delivery. But obviously we collect a lot of data through our drones. We've got a fleet of drones that every time we go out to an accident site, we put up our drones and we fly the accident site, we fly the trajectory angles of the aircraft that may have come in, and we capture all that through 3D mapping. We also got some field-based eyesight ware as well, where we can map all the accident sites. So we know we've got a lot of rich data that sort of, if we, through this partnership, by lending that data, it does allow them to, produce the AR and some of the imaging that you're going to see later in this presentation. I think that's it for my opening introduction. So I'll now hand over to Nicole Conley, who, by the way, has been a major success factor in the whole partnership, and she's certainly been with us from the start. And we look forward to working with you, Nick, as we pull out the diploma as well.